You must have heard a lot of stories. Bedtime stories which your grandma used to tell you. Stories which you might have read in different novels or seen on movies and television. Stories that make you laugh, cry. Stories of passion. Stories of greed. Stories of power. And stories of bubbles. What? You haven't heard the story of the bubble? Okay, then let me tell you. Once upon a time, not very long ago,
My name is Bubbloo. Quite some time ago, I started my biryani business with my life savings.
with hard work, I gradually established my own small brand name.
हाँ भाई साहब को 2 प्लेट दो भाई.
And Bubbloo Biryani got quite popular in the area. Business was doing pretty well. One day I was talking to some customers when one of them gave me a ₹1,000,000 idea.
Yeah, Bubbloo, since your business is doing so well, why don't you expand it?
I asked him, how can I do that? He said, first you have to move to a bigger place so that you can accommodate more customers. Then you must start offering other dishes too, like kebabs, burgers, nihari. And you must also establish a value chain and also start home and office delivery of food. This will increase your business and you will make more money.
Do all that, you can make a lot more money.
Now, I liked the idea.
In 1970s, as you might remember, that there was a very heavy inflation that was during the Carter era, and during the Reagan supply side economics days, that inflation was managed very effectively. And the US economy bounced back in a big way in the early 90s. And that was the time when the emerging markets were also performing very well, be it India, China, because these economies were opening up. And their overall trade surplus was in a huge amount. This time around, the flow of money was from the poor countries to the rich countries, especially the United States.
And suddenly the incidents of September 11 occurred in 2001. That has taken the entire global market into downstream. And there was a panic button everywhere that the world will go to the worst ever recession. The central banks of Europe and USA sit together and they have reduced the interest rate to the lowest ever since 1950.
In the US, most of this money that was basically channeled from the emerging economies went into private sector debt.
Every normal citizen wants to have a house of his own ownership. So housing industry have started boosting and the prices were going like anything.
But I knew that all of this would require a lot of capital investment. One of my customers was a banker.
I have the perfect solution for you. What you need to do now is offer a facility to your customers whereby they don't have to pay for anything they have to eat in your restaurant.
But then how will I get the money from them?
It's very simple.
He said, you don't need to worry about this. Just write down your receivables in a book and the bank will finance you for this. So from now on, you need to start selling on credit. And to get a reasonable amount of credit sales, you should sell to corporate clients and companies too. In this way, your business will grow and we'll give you a good credit limit.
Good. So you will give me the money?
Needless to say, I was tempted by the sweet smell of money. So I decided to go for it.
Because there was plenty of liquidity in the system and the banks were able to stretch out their loans to every creditworthy borrower. So you have low interest rates, excess liquidity in the banking system, and the demand from the borrowers for the mortgage.
So they found out a way that why don't we start lending to the subprime customers. That's why this is called the subprime crisis. So they went ahead and went to the subprime customer, and this was done by the third parties, which were basically the mortgage brokers. They were not even the banks. They used to work on their flat commissions, which was based on the amount of the value of the mortgage.
In order to make this financial product according to the appetite of the people, they structured the investment model in such a way that for the first 2 years, there was no down payment, and the interest rate that was charged was only 2%.
On the flip side, for installments, they started giving them installment holidays for as long as 6 months, 1 year.
Bubbloo Biryani launched a new scheme, Eat Now, Pay Later. We announced that all our customers can have biryani and pay the bill after 6 months.
So, does my story sound familiar to you? Well, it should be, because at the same time, banks in the United States of America and Europe were following exactly the same phenomenon. Their liquidity was high, and by lending left, right and center, they created what can be called a credit boom.
Even those individuals who would not normally qualify for loans were given subprime mortgages.
The main premise was that the property price always goes up. So even if we start lending these people and they get their homes without giving a nominal amount of down payment as low as 1%, and even not paying a single installment against their loans, since the price will go up and that is the main collateral, so the bank will not be at a loss.
The game became that you get a loan, get a house, the house price is going to increase, you sell that house, repay your loan, and sort of keep playing this game over and over and over again.
So the banks were making huge margins, the borrowers were happy that they were getting loans, and the asset prices or the prices of the houses were rising altogether.
So everybody was enjoying the life, and for everybody there was a money.